Oh, my face feels so greasy. Hey, 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 everybody. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, y'all. It took a little minute to get here, but let me make sure I'm live and in check for this video. I'm going to have to wear my glasses because lately, these past couple of days, I don't know. My doggone sight has been a little kooky. So don't do me like that. I think when I wear my glasses, I look like my mom. So I love my glasses. I love my glasses. Hey, everybody, happy Sunday. I've been getting text messages, I've been getting phone calls, I've been getting cursed out because everybody is like, girl, where are you at? We need you to go live. We need it to be lit. We need you to get information with what's going on. So we got some hot topics tonight. We got some hot topics tonight. We got some recapping of the shows. We got some things to get into. So let me first say, hey, thank you, Pookie. I try to look cute for my lives. Hello. I don't know. I can see my ring light reflecting in my glasses. I don't like that, but I need my glasses. But I can go off the cuff. I can go off the cuff. I'm good at Freestyle Friday. But before we begin, I know it's Sunday, and some of you are like holier than thou. So you're on some listen. I don't drink on Sundays. I hear you, girl. For these recaps, you need to be a little bit tipsy. So I suggest you go get your drink and you do what you do. Right? I got my phone here. Let's see where all my folks are that are tuned to Freak, and make sure you like the video. Soon as you get here, make sure you like the video. I see 4 people watching the video, but only 1 person liked it. So if you're here, like the video, like the video, like the video. Let me just say this, right, about recording these videos. And I realize I'm not going to spend too much time on this. This is what I will say, right? You can get your page monetized, your YouTube page monetized if certain things happen, right? So if you have a certain amount of views, you can get your page monetized. Like, it's just certain things that take place for that to happen. So the only one thing that I've been asking friends and family, because I know a lot of people, they don't watch the shows that I watch, right? So the content may not pertain to you. And that's okay. I don't have a problem with that. The only thing that I ask is that you log on, you can let it run and not pay it no attention ever again. Just let it run for a little while so I can get your view. And also hit the like button. That's the long and the short of it, right? That is the long and the short of it. I'm not asking you for anything else. I'm not telling you, oh, it's not a lot. It's not a lot to this. It's just, can you go watch the video for a little while? And can you like the video? I don't really see what's the issue with that, but I don't know if, is it taking money out of people's pockets? Like, I don't get what's the issue, with doing that. But a lot of times I see a lot of issues because people act as though they don't want to do it. And I'm like, well, what happened? How am I offending you? Like, what's going on here? Right. So in any event, if you're here viewing the video, please do me the courtesy of liking it. And if some of this content pertains to you, please feel free and speaking in the chat. And if not, you can keep it moving. But I just would appreciate those free things, right? Okay, so let's start from the top. I hope everybody have their drinks. As you guys know, I'm a vodka kind of girl, so I always have vodka. That's vodka, cranberry juice, and lemon, right? What I will say is this for the next. Let me start with good news. Let me start with good news. The good news is yesterday I celebrated 75 days as a pescatarian. I cannot believe this. I have not had any jerk chicken. I haven't had a piece of steak. I haven't had anything other than fish for the last 75 days. And I'm so proud of myself. I really picked up on my cruciferous greens. So I've been having cabbage and arugula and all of those things that they say are good for you. But I've really, really expanded my little menu. So I'm excited about that. My 100th day of a pescatarian is May 31st of this month. So for the next couple of weeks until the 31st, I'm going to cut out fish as well. Right. So if you guys want to join me on the journey, I would appreciate it. If not, you just want to cheer me on from the sidelines. Thank you. I appreciate it. No worries. Right. So that's celebratory. Take a shot. If you have a drink, take a shot, because I'm celebrating 75 days as a pescatarian, which is huge for me because I have not been able to abstain from meat that long, so I'm so excited, and it makes me feel good to know that sometimes and I'm trying to get to all the time, I can be this disciplined to do what I need to do, right? So let's give a life update. Let's give a life update. We're nearing the end of the semester. So I know last semester I made the dean's list. I don't think I'm gonna make the dean's list this semester. And I'm not even going to make any excuses for it, right? There are some factors that I know I can share with you guys, but I feel like if I share all of the factors of why I didn't perform to the best of my ability, I'm going to be giving myself excuses. And I don't want to do that, right? So let's just say I didn't perform to the best of my ability like I did last semester, and it's going to reflect in my grades. But in any event, I'm going to pass. It's just that I'm not going to be on the dean's list. Whatever, but God is good and I know what I need to do next time around, right? That's one. Two is that I'm like I always share with you guys, Mother's Day is next week, and it will be my mom's first Mother's Day without my stepdad. So, I'm continually asking you guys to pray for Miss P. She has been in good spirits these last couple of weeks, but I need you to continue to pray for her. My mom is incredibly strong, incredibly strong. I get my from her. The only person that I can contribute to that, right? That can contribute to how strong I am, right? And resilient I am. And I really, really love that she's that way. But sometimes a part of me gets a little nervous because, everybody needs to have their moments when they can break down. And because it's not visible to me, I just wonder, are you okay? And do you need to break down? And I would hate for her to be taking all of this stuff in and then it starts to like manifest in her health and things of that nature, right? My mom is in excellent health right now. So, I just want to make sure it stays that way, right? So you guys continue to pray for Miss P, shout her out if you have her number, check in on her from time to time, come over on a Sunday. She would appreciate it. She loves to cook for people just to make sure that she's surrounded by love during this very, very sad time, right? Another thing is, oh God. So within the last couple of years, my friend circle has gotten really, 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 really tight, right? And at first, it was very stressful to go through, purging friendships. But you know what? Things had to happen. I'm learning to deal with it. But just recently, within the last week, it's like here we go again. And I don't think people factor in how friendship breakups are they're sometimes they're more than hard than romantic breakups, right? Because again, you and a friend, especially contingent upon the length and the strength of the friendship, y'all share a lot. So when you have to detach, sometimes that could kind of feel like you damn near dying. But I think that everything happens for a reason. I'm a firm believer in that. And I also believe sometimes you just have to do what's best for you and, give the rest to God. And like I told you guys, I have my give it to God jar. And when things become overwhelming to me, I give it to God. So I'm going to put this friendship, right, that a situation occurred within the last week, and my give it to God jar, because if I handle it, okay. All right. So we won't even go there. So let's get started. We have some things up on the roster. And child, when I tell you that, let me turn my ringer on because I believe people will be trying to text me, and ask me for the live video. So when I tell you we got some stuff to talk about, we have some stuff to freaking talk about, right? Let's start with, I know you guys want to talk about DJ Envy and the Beige Rage and Eboni K. Everybody, take a sip of your drink, right? I'm going to keep this short and sweet because I kind of already addressed this in an old video. So I'll just keep it short and sweet here for you guys so it doesn't have to play out all over again, right? When you have been chosen by God to deliver the message, right? It's a big deal. It's a big, 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 big deal. When you have been chosen by God to deliver the message and to work with people and to help save and change lives, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. It's a heavy task to take on. It's very serious. But the main thing that you have to remember when you take that task on is that it is not at all about you, right? So when you take that task on, you're going to be in the trenches and in the fight for other people, right? And sometimes that can be so frustrating and overwhelming because when it's you, you know what you would do, right? You know how to take your situation, you know how to get information, you know what you should be doing, yada, 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 right? You know how to make things work, you know what happens when things don't work. That's you, right? But when you are designated to do the work with others, you have to become extremely unselfish, right? Like you have to really say like, no, I'm not going to let this at all be about me, because this part right here is about someone else, right? And I really need to get this message to someone else. What I'm witnessing about some of the folks that are designated to do the work is that they have gotten selfish in delivering the message, right? So if God designed me to tell a person that they are consuming something that's detrimental to their health, I have to be really strategic in how I deliver that message, because I want them to get it, right? It's not about me delivering it. It's not about that. It's not about if what's going to happen to me with delivering a message, because I'm doing God's work. It's solely about them getting it. So you have to find so many strategic ways to make that work so the person can get it. What I'm seeing in some of my fellow messengers is that they get so wrapped up in their feelings within the display and the delivery of the message that it's almost like, well, I don't give a damn how they receive it. This is just how I'm going to give it. And my concern is, why don't you care how people receive the message when the goal is for them to receive it? And I'm going to get riled up on this part because it pisses me off, because it's a job. It's a job. It's a job for you to do. It's a blessing for you to be that person, to be conveying a message that God wants these people to understand and get. So when you are deemed that task, you have to take that serious, because that's detrimental to someone else's life. But you cannot stand up there and say, well, I said what I said, and if they ain't get it, well, F them. You know why you can't do that? Because you're always offered the opportunity to not take on the task. But if you're saying, I'm going to take on the task, then you have to be mindful about the way you deliver the message. And the reason why I went there, right? Because I'm going to say this. Everything that Eboni K said, I agree with. So let me back up and let me give you guys some context. What happened was Eboni K was having an interview with Iyanla Vanzant, and I take it Eboni K must be a single woman from what I get. And Iyanla Vanzant basically was saying that, some of these single women need to maybe broaden up their, their standards, for what they want in a mate, right? So she said to Eboni that she asked Eboni, I'm sorry, would she date a bus driver, right? And Eboni said only if he owned the bus company or the bus, or whatever the case may be, right? So everybody got all wrapped up in their feelings about what she said, because most folks who either drive the bus for a company or work for somebody driving the bus felt like she was trying to say something negative about being just a bus driver, right? So she went on her show. I don't watch her show, but her co-host Dustin, I really like. He used to do a podcast with Star Brem. And he's very smart, intellectual, a guy, right? And I know he's on her show. I never really watched her show because, again, something about her delivery, it turns me off, right? So anyway, after she left, she had the interview with Iyanla Vanzant. Everybody got up in arms about what she said. She went on her show that she co-hosts with Dustin, and she basically explained what she meant. Now, according to the Breakfast Club, when she went up there to explain what she meant, instead of her standing solid and this is what I want, these are my this is my choice, and I'm standing on it. She kind of like went left with the whole debacle, right? And she started talking about, what is wrong with this? She started talking about, working class people and black and white and race and America. And she didn't really stand tall in what she said, right? Anyway, again, I did not see that show, so I don't want to judge what Ebony said on there. I only watched the Breakfast Club interview with Ebony. It was another two young ladies on there. I didn't really get their names. One young lady was in favor of Ebony. The other young lady was kind of in favor of Envy. I understood both perspectives, and I saw her interview there. What I will say was every single thing that Ebony K. Williams said on the Breakfast Club, I honestly agree with 10 toes down. Right? I agree with her holding people, not just black people. I agree with her holding people, but her thing is black people to a higher standard. I agree with all of that 100%. What she could not why I think people can't connect with her and why I couldn't connect with her, even though I agree with her, is because exactly what DJ Envy says. As he said, he does a lot of work to help people as well and hold them to a higher standard, but he does that without putting them down. And I think that Ebony feels like, well, I don't care who feelings I hurt. This is what I'm going to do. I would be totally with Ebony on that. I would be totally with her if her job, as she described it, wasn't to help people. You said that that is what you're here for, right? So you have to be mindful in the way you're delivering the message, because no matter if what you're saying is right, you're not helping people if they can't receive your message. And I think you're more hell bent on being a bitch as opposed to delivering the message. I'm sorry, Ebony. 100% I agree with all of the things that you said. And I agree that we do have to look at facts versus feelings. But I think you have to be more realistic about the world we live in. And if you are signing up to help people, you do have to consider their feelings. Sorry. I'm sorry. That's just the way the world works. Right. So when I'm doing healing hearts, a lot of times I could be saying something to somebody and I'm looking at them like, this is freaking obvious. You don't get it. What the hell is wrong with you? And then I have to scale back and tell myself, no, they don't get it, Khadija. You would get it. With all the facts that you laid out, it would be good for you to absorb. That's you. You're working with someone else. So for Ebony K, girl, I hear you. I agree with you, but we're gonna go back to my famous saying: you did not land a plane. You did not land a plane. You did not land a plane. What you did come across was as a bitch. And I think that, you know, most more times than not, people can't connect with people who they feel like are mean bitches. And I will say that because I've been there. I've been there. That's a personal journey for me. I remember when I started my healing hearts work, everybody cracked up laughing at me. Not you, bitch. Trying to help somebody. It's fucking mean and attitude. This is your ass is. Now you coming up here talk about, but I can save you. Bitch, save yourself. Save yourself. Because your attitude and sometimes some of the energy you give off is disgusting. So a lot of people doubted my work with other people because they can only reference the bitch I used to be. I had to own that. In order for me to push forward and do this work, I had to own who I used to be. 100%. They wasn't lying. There was not one lie told. Every story that they said at that time for whatever, they was right. Mm-hmm. It was a defense mechanism that if I feel like you have offended me or hurt me, then a bitch in me will come out full fledged, full throttle. So they were right. Right. And I had to address that. Khadija, you're not a mean person and you're not a bitch. You're hurt. And that's your defense mechanism when you're in pain. Let's address the pain so you can stop being the bitch. So for Ebony, I don't know Ebony's past. I didn't dig into any of that. What I will say is Ebony, in my opinion, is more comfortable being the bitch as opposed to delivering a message. And I think that Ebony is incredibly smart. And I think Ebony has very, very good factual points to share to, help elevate Black people. But I don't know how many people are listening because they view her as a bitch. So for that whole thing, I understood her. I understood Envy. I just hope that, everybody could do some introspective work, because that was another thing about Envy. He was also speaking from a personal perspective because of his parents, which I got that. But what he had to understand is Ebony, the only thing Ebony pulled out was facts. The only thing Ebony pulled out was facts. We can't always factor in your feelings. We have to deal in facts. Right. And his feelings was all over the place. So, and I got that. I genuinely got that, but I also understood her. If we start dealing that way, then who's going to be the sensible person here? But what Ebony didn't get is, if your job is to service the people, then you must consider the people's feelings. So the mediocre and some of those trigger words, I don't know. I'm a working class citizen and they didn't trigger me, but I could see how other folks would be triggered, right? So that's Ebony K. I'm not going to spend too much time on that. God bless her. I don't know what to say, right? So I heard this past weekend, because Chris Brown's birthday was Friday, and from what I'm hearing, Usher threw Chris a party, right? And somewhere along the line, Usher and Chris got into it. How did we get here? Nobody's supposed to be here. Like, I'm confused. Like, I threw you the party and now we at war. Like, what is that? What is that? So I was a little confused. But then, as blog sites went on, they claimed that the reason why the issue took place was because Chris Brown's, I want to say, Grammy performance, but I'm not sure, whichever performance, right? It got canceled because somebody spoke up about him being like involved in domestic violence and yada yada yada, right? So his performance got canceled. But from what I understand, Teyana Taylor was supposed to be a part of that whole production. I don't know if she was supposed to be a part of it as a dancer, as a choreographer, as a director. I don't know in what capacity. And I guess when that whole you know the conversation about who he is as a person and why they want to pull out came up, it seems like she might have pulled out. According to the bloggers, I couldn't really get clarity. But in any event, I heard he was supposed to be angry with her from then. And I guess if Usher was throwing the party, he was also in charge of the invite list, and he invited Teyana Taylor, and she came. And I think from what the blogger said, some words were exchanged between Teyana Taylor and Chris Brown. And Usher was trying to kind of get in the middle, like, bro, chill. And then Chris got mad and was trying to leave to go to his tour bus. And Usher followed him. And Usher allegedly got roughed up outside by Chris's camp. Allegedly. Now, granted, nobody has said anything. Things are supposed to be okay. They are saying that that's all made up BS. I don't know. What I will say is, where was Iman? Where was Iman? Because Iman don't look like he let nobody play in Tiana face. Chris or no Chris. Chris or Jesus Christ. Iman don't give me he let nobody play in. Okay, Chris. So I understand that you roll with the Bloods and sometimes you might do Booger Sugar and all that. Allegedly. Chris. Now, maybe you might put your foot in your ex's or your current woman eye and you're punching them in a rib cage and all that and all that nonsense you do to your women. But Iman don't give me he allowing you to do it to his. So Iman, we paging you. Paging Iman. Where's that, bro? Where's that? Because if you play it in Tiana's face, you're going to have to play in his. Okay? So listen, I told y'all, to this day, I'm on Uncle Will's side. Anytime you got a woman, okay? And I'm not even saying marry, because I'm not having this argument. Anytime you have a woman that you're claiming as your lady, and another man think it's okay to play in their face at all, but especially in your presence. Oh, no. No. At that point, I am advocating for violence. Sorry. I'm sorry. I say it all the time. I this year will be celebrating 7 beautiful years with my Pookie. Love him to death. Do a bit, lose a rib. But in any event that we are in any space and a man tries to disrespect me, and I don't give a damn whether he deemed it disrespect or not. If I felt like that's what it was, he better feel like that's what it was. Because if not, we would have to part ways. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to talk about it because at that point all respect is lost for you because I feel like you allowed somebody to disrespect me and you didn't do anything and I would never. So at the end of the day, Iman, we are paging you to the front. Iman, we are paging you to the front. Come on in, baby. Come on in. But again, all that's allegedly because Usher, Chris Brown, and Tiana have been radio silent, right? Okay. Last week I watched Basketball Wives, right? Let me take a drink. Let me take a drink. Jackie, I don't know. A part of me, I'm sorry. I wish that I could get with this new era, right? So I wish that I could get with 30 plus, acting 22, and having a public physical altercation. Because this is what I'm thinking, right? When I was younger, I started drinking alcohol when I was 17 years old, right? From about 17 to about 20, I was immature and drunk, right? So because of that, I had a lot of physical altercations. Again, they made no sense why I had them. They made no sense why I had those physical altercations. But the reason why I was having them is because I was going through a phase in my life where I couldn't handle my emotions because I was a young girl. And I'm adding alcohol to that. That doesn't make things better, right? So from about 17 to 20, there was a lot going on, a lot of furniture moving, right? I would never, never negate that, right? It's to a point when I run into people and they try to bring that up, I cringe because, girl, what the heck was wrong with you? But it happened. It happened, right? Um, it happened. I even had a physical altercation after 20, but it wasn't because I was drinking. It just was because I was still immature, right? I'm 41 years old and I'm incredibly mature, right? And I'm so mature that not only can I use my words when I have an altercation, but I can also keep in mind that if I'm having an altercation and my words are not enough and I'm feeling triggered enough to want to get physical, I can remove myself. That's how mature I am. So when I see like older women on TV getting physical or having these uh disrespectful yelling screaming matches with other women, it kind of does something to me because I'm like, grow up. So Jackie, I just can't. Granted, you can have reality shows with drama that people still tune into that don't get physical. But that yelling and screaming every minute and that the oh God, I just can't. So Jackie, I've never been a fan of Jackie because number one, she's just too old. She's just too old. Like she's too old. I probably would be a little bit more understanding of that behavior from people like Duffy and British because again they're grown too, but they're younger than her. Your grandmother. It has to end and it has to stop, beloved. Come on. Come on. So Jackie irks me, but Jen, you piss me the fuck off too. You piss me off too. Because at the end of the day, you know you scary Sherry, which we accept from you. But again, you got to bring your little drama on this show, so we accept that as well. What we won't accept is y'all ruining Duffy night. That's what we will not accept is y'all ruining Duffy night. That was not fair to Duffy. That was not at all fair to Duffy. That was not at all fair to Duffy. You could have gave her that in the morning and let her sit with that during the day so she could be good that evening, or you should have gave it to her the next morning. That was not at all fair to Duffy. That was not. That was not. And what I love about Duffy is right now she's on a self-work journey. She's on a self-work journey. So she's trying to like process things from a space of I'm trying to grow and be better. So she handled it really well. Because I know if it was me, I would have took them two bitches to the side and cursed them out. Okay? And told them don't ever bring me ass and nothing else I invite them to. And they better hope I'm not done with ass. Okay? Come on. That was such a special and sacred moment for Duffy and her boo. How dare you? So I was turned off. I was turned completely off by Jen and Jackie. Completely off, right? So okay, that went on. All right, move on, right? Um, Angel brings. Let me be very mindful. Like I told you guys earlier, I want to be mindful of delivering the message, right? So I want to be very mindful in the way I word this because I do not want to offend anyone. And let me start by saying, I'm not a parent. I'm not a parent, right? So I don't know. Let me be clear. I do not know what postpartum feels like. I know what I've heard. I know what people share with me, but I do not know what postpartum feels like. So I want to be very clear in saying that I don't want to take away from anything that Angel shared this whole season because I think it was very real for Angel and I think it's very real for other moms, that have grown through it, right? So that's not what I want to do, right? I want to make this clear. But I don't know. It was painful seeing Angel on the show. It was painful seeing Angel, and I'm saying this as a person who's never been through postpartum depression. It was painful to watch Angel's scenes and her confessionals. Like every time she came on, I got like a nervous feeling. Like I felt so sad for Angel. And a part of me is wondering, is a part of Angel's issues related to her relationship. And again, I'm not placing blame on Rockstar because I've never been through postpartum depression. So it could be Rockstar is not doing anything and Angel is just growing through the motions. That could be 100% right.